on camera. He alleges it's Aam Aadmi Party's attempt to silence him. A month after the sensational Meghalaya honeymoon murder, now a similar case from Andhra Pradesh's Kurnool, where a 32-year-old man was found murdered a month after his wedding. His wife and contract killers have been held. Her lover is on the run. After the 12-day war, a full day has passed since Israel and Iran agreed to the ceasefire, day one of no missiles in the sky. And after a successful launch, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla on his way to the International Space Station. He's the second Indian in space after 41 years. In his first remarks, he says, "The Tiranga on my shoulders tells me that I am with all of you." Hello and welcome. You're watching Nationwide at 6. I'm Gargi Rawat. Now, after what's been called the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, today, finally, truce. A day has passed since Israel and Iran agreed to the ceasefire, halting hostilities, and one hopes that remain. Let's go across to my colleague Ankit, who joins us from the ground there in Israel. Over to you, Ankit.
Thank you, Gargi. Good evening to viewers in India. This is Ankit Tyagi. We are coming to you live from Tel Aviv at this moment. First night where I can tell you that I got some sleep, and so did the entire population of Israel. No missile attacks after 12 days, and there has been considerable, at least the ceasefire, which seemed fragile. It has held so far almost for 24 hours now. I'm coming to you at this moment from Tel Aviv. This is the promenade just near the beach, and today the city, in fact, right from the evening yesterday, is out in full force. Remember, till 8 p.m. yesterday, the Home Front Command had made some restrictions. People could not go out. They were not allowed for large gatherings. There were also restrictions on school, colleges, and workplaces. All those restrictions have been lifted, and it more or less seems like any normal day here in Tel Aviv, where school, colleges, schools, and offices are open. People in large number out on the beach enjoying the sun after 12 stressful days of strikes, counter strikes, when this war which went on for the last 12 days. Now, yesterday, remember, ladies and gentlemen, it was President Donald Trump who had to come out in full force, ask both Jerusalem and Tehran not to continue exchanging missiles and bombs after the ceasefire came into effect. This 12-day war, what Mr. Donald Trump has been referring to, was more or less overshadowing the NATO summit, which he is at this moment at. And in the summit, Donald Trump was seen basking in, saying that it was his intervention which ended the 12-day war, and also the attack that America conducted on the nuclear facilities of Iran, that crippled Iran's capability of weaponizing the uranium that they have. Donald Trump also, in fact, saying that he kept the promise that he had made to the people of America, that he is going to be the one who will end wars, not get America into new ones. At this moment, Donald Trump almost making sure that he reaps the political benefits of this truce, which at this moment is holding between Iran and Israel.
How long do you think that the Iranian nuclear program has been put back by these strikes? Years or totally obliterated?
I think basically decades, because I don't think they'll ever do it again. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take their oil. They're going to have some missiles, and they'll have some defense. I think they've had it. I mean, they just went through hell. I think they've had it. The last thing they want to do is enrich. They've been trying to do it. By the way, it's hard to enrich. And, when you look at a site like that, very, very hard to build. Very, very hard, very expensive. They spent trillions of dollars trying to do this thing, and they didn't come up with it. That hit ended the war. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing. That ended that war. This ended that with the war. Afterwards, they said it's so devastated, and they settled when they saw what we did to it. And frankly, if we didn't do that, they would have had a lot of ammunition to keep going. They wouldn't have settled. Somebody brought that up, and 2 Iranians went down to see it, and they called back and they said, this place is gone. So it's just fake news by CNN, which has got no ratings. It's a failed network. Anybody here from CNN, by the way? Because you're a really disgraceful network. MSNBC, I think, is actually worse. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like 2 kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
All right, that was Donald Trump, the president of the United States. Amazing the way, a president, a person of his stature, the kind of statement that he made. In fact, yesterday going on to even using some profanities on air while describing the situation which was developing here. Now, but, for Donald Trump, possibly the biggest shot in arm would be a Nobel Peace Prize. And that is something that many would think that he's aiming for as his long-lasting legacy. That Barack Obama was given the Nobel Peace Prize. Why shouldn't Donald Trump? At least that is what the Republicans believe. And he has actually been nominated for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize for brokering a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran. The nomination was submitted by Republican Congressman Buddy Carter, and he credits Trump with playing an extraordinary historic role in halting a rapidly escalating conflict in the Middle East. In a formal letter to the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Representative Carter wrote President Trump's influence was instrumental in forging a swift agreement that many believed was impossible. The Georgia lawmaker praised Trump's leadership in de-escalating what could have become a full-scale regional war, adding that such a breakthrough demands both courage and clarity. Meanwhile, the former defense minister of Israel has in fact apologized for the civilian casualties in Tehran. Like I've been noticing here, the focus, of course, both in Israel and Iran has been on the civilian casualties, both accusing each other of conducting strikes on civilian areas. I have been for the last 3 days in Tel Aviv and around the areas which were targeted by the Iranian missiles. Many of them, of course, landing in high-density civilian areas. The one that landed yesterday also causing deaths of 4 Israelis and injuries to 5 others. But at this moment, we are also seeing that the former Israeli minister has apologized for the deaths which have taken place in the 12-day ongoing crisis, civilian deaths in Iran. Let me go across at this moment to try and get a sense of what has been achieved and what's the way forward from Israeli point of view. I'm being joined by Lev Eren, Israeli journalist and columnist. Thank you so much, Lev. Pleasure to speak to you again from your own country at this moment. In Tel Aviv, where I'm standing, right now, it's almost that if somebody comes in today, they would not know what happened, how stressful the last 12 days were. Business is back to normal. People are out in full strength on the beach and the promenade. There is a sense of relief as far as the people are concerned, Lev. What is your understanding of what has been achieved in the last 12 days?
First of all, thank you for having me. And of course, Tel Aviv and the other cities in Israel are more hectic than usually because after 12 days that were nightmarish for many people in Israel, now people can go out, children go to school, to kindergartens and so on. And in a way, unlike the situation in Gaza, Israelis actually believe the ceasefire, thanks to Donald Trump, thanks to the non-appetite of Iran to start a war again, and also thanks to the fact that Israel has to comply to what America says. Okay, Israel is not fully independent in this sense. Israel wanted to keep it, and we were scolded by Donald Trump. So Israelis actually believe that this is like the end of the conflict.
Right. Let me then understand this from you. The second part of it, how does this, at this moment, reflect on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Because yesterday I was watching some visuals on local television after the ceasefire announcement. He was in Jerusalem meeting people, and many of them were cheering him on, asking him to call for early elections because they believe his popularity has increased. He has had a difficult time since 2023. Even before that, how much of an impact has this campaign been on his political capital?
So, of course, his Likud party is more popular than before. But what most pollsters show is that the big chunk of the Likud, they're not gaining that much. It means that if tomorrow we have elections, still Netanyahu is losing the elections, at least as far as pollsters are concerned. So I'm not sure Netanyahu will decide that the elections will be very soon. It is like too risky for him. And also the ultimatum of Donald Trump was a bit humiliating for Israelis. So as far as Netanyahu is concerned, he will think twice before he announces new elections.
Very quickly, in conclusion, let me ask you this. This conflict
All right, we seem to have lost the line there with my colleague Ankit, who was reporting from Tel Aviv. But let's also talk about what's happening in Iran. And Iran's parliament has voted near unanimously to fast-track a bill that could end cooperation with the IAEA, that's the UN's nuclear watchdog. This follows the fragile ceasefire with Israel. And if successful, this legislation could then severely limit external oversight of Iran's nuclear program. Let's just listen in. And we're joined by Hassan Zedi, a journalist from Tehran. Thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV. If you could tell us more about this move to limit the access that IAEA has.
Thank you for having me. And I wanted to say that, unfortunately, Mr. Rafael Grossi, the head of IAEA, he several times he had leaked all the information and from Iran and provided it to United States and especially to Israel, and there are evidences of this. So even all the nuclear scientists which were killed by the Israeli regime in Tehran and other cities of Iran were connected to United States through the same information which was gained by Mr. Grossi. So this time Iran is very serious, and it had threatened the IAEA, this UN body, that it will have consequences if you continue threatening Iran with different things. Like this last time, Mr. Grossi said, we want to know and we must know where is the location of the enriched uranium which Iran has hidden from the so-called inspectors of IAEA. And Iran had informed them that we are not going to inform you about all those things. And even Mr.
Zedi, do you not feel this will isolate Iran further? There will be, more of this, sense of distrust when it comes to Iran if you block out the IAEA?
Unfortunately, IAEA has given, Iran has always been respectful to the laws, to NPT. It has been a signatory to the NPT, but it has not gained nothing. It had enjoyed all the limits, but enjoyed nothing of the facilities the IAEA had to give to Iran. So they had to consider this and these things. And Iran was furious for the past 2 years, 3 years, when the pressure was building up on Iran, and they said, we're taking action against you, especially the meeting of Board of Governors just a few days before Iran was attacked showed that they don't want to cooperate with Iran, and they are just asking for cooperation from Iranian side. So how can this continue on for a long time? And all the information which was given to the IAEA by Iran, it was provided to the United States, and they wanted to bomb it. Even the foreign minister of Russia, Mr. Lavrov, today he said that all the information had been transferred to the Israelis so they can easily target the Iranian nuclear sites, and they did so. And next time, Iran was sure it was going to happen again, and maybe it could become a disaster, because if they know the location of the enriched uranium, then a havoc could be created across Iran and also across the Western Asia.
Now, Hassan Zedi, it's been, 1 day of this tense calm, after the uneasy truce that has taken place. Donald Trump once again doubling down on his claims of setting back Iran's nuclear program by decades. He said, I'm joined in studio by my science editor, Pallav Bagla, who would also like to pose a question to you. Go ahead, Pallav.
Hassan, thank you very much for speaking to us. 2 quick points. I have reported IAEA for a long time. I have reported nuclear issues for a very long time. So is Iran planning to walk out of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty? And if it walks out, is Iran wanting to become a renegade state like North Korea? Because North Korea signed the NPT and walked out. And we see what is the development status of North Korea. Is Iran ready to face that consequences?
Well, Iran is saying that the countries which has not signed the this NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, are enjoying all the facilities the world is giving to them, while Iran, who is a signatory to this treaty, is having only the limits. Iran this time, Iran's parliament said that tangible guarantees must be given to Iran regarding this issue, that Iran's like all these informations which you know very well, which are given to the IAEA, do not end up in the hands of the Israelis, Iran's enemies, and United States, so they cannot bomb Iran again. So if there are tangible guarantees, then Iran will not leave. But at the time, it has only stopped working with IAEA and decided to do so. And next time, I don't know exactly what will going to happen. And in my opinion, there will be problems in the future if the same thing is going on. But I think this time it will be Iran is playing safe.
All right. Well, my colleague Ankit is back with us from Tel Aviv. Ankit, over to you.
Well, thank you, Gargi. It was, we lost that connection in between at this moment. But like you were speaking to Mr. Zedi, I have been speaking to him. This is peculiar about any war, where each side hopes at least that they can go back to their domestic audience and give a sense of victory. Of course, yesterday, just before the ceasefire came into effect, we saw the kind of barrage of missiles that came in from Iran hit many residential areas here. But like I was saying, if somebody comes in today, to Tel Aviv, they possibly won't know that, this is the same city which was, let me just show you around, for the last 12 days, suffering, one after another with the massive barrage of missiles. The people are out in full force here on this beach, on the promenade. The restaurants which were shut till yesterday are all open. It's been 12 days that, your advisory was to be near shelter. We also experienced it firsthand when Many times, we had to run to the shelter because of the air raid sirens which were going on. And at least at this moment, after 12 days, people are enjoying the sunshine here in Tel Aviv. But with also a question, and I want to show some of these posters to our viewers. These are the people, those who are still hostage in Gaza, and the question that the Israelis are asking at this moment is: one conflict is over, when are all these hostages coming back, and when are the conflict with Gaza, when is it going to end? So that's in fact the mood here in Tel Aviv. But very quickly, like I said, like there is normalcy coming back here in Tel Aviv, celebrations in Iran as well, people celebrating what they believe has been their victory.
از شأن ملت ایران به طور تمام قد دفاع کنم. من برای همین امروز اینجا اومدم. دلیل نداشت امروز بیام. فقط اومدم بگم که اون چی که فرماندهی کل قوا میفرمایند ما میگیم اطاعت. هر چی که هست ما حمایت میکنیم. برای حمایت اومدم.
All right, that's all the time that we have in this special broadcast, which is coming to you from Tel Aviv. We are slipping into a very short break. My colleague Gargi will take you over for other news after that very short break. Thank you so much for tuning in.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
50 years of the emergency.
भाइयों और बहनों, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है।
India's darkest hour, June 25th, 1975. Lest we forget. The emergency. NDTV rewinds when democracy was suspended.
लोकतंत्र का गला घोट दिया गया था। भारत के संविधान निर्माताओं की तपस्या को मिट्टी में मिलाने की कोशिश की गई।
Indira Gandhi's assault on freedom. An NGTV Special, Wednesday, June 25th.
The last 1 month, if you see, the share prices of Genzol Engineering has fallen more than 58%.
Why are the rating firms calling the debt payments as default?
We have two credible credit rating agencies on March 4th coming and downgrading the stock to D.
Statements are consistently being proven wrong,
right.
And transactions are being taken place which are different from what they were originally pictured to be.
The company claimed it would roll out 6,400 electric vehicles. But what it has rolled out is a shocking scam. Funds meant for the project were funneled allegedly back to the promoters, the Junkie brothers. What did the money buy? Not EVs, of course, but a lavish flat in Gurgaon's luxurious DLF Carmelias.
भावनाओं को अभिव्यक्त करता हुआ कवि, एक पेंटिंग बनाता हुआ चित्रकार, सुरीले राग गाता हुआ एक गायक और फिल्म के रूप में दुनिया की हकीकत दिखाता हुआ एक फिल्मकार। सब चाहते हैं कि उन्हें एक मंच मिले जहां से उनकी उड़ान को दुनिया पहचान सके। एनडीटीवी क्रिएटर्स मंच एक ऐसा ही मंच है। आइए इस मचान पर स्वागत है, एक वक्त बिताएंगे एनडीटीवी क्रिएटर्स मंच पर।
News is not just headlines, it is what impacts you. And news should never be mistaken for noise. What matters is the reality. Accurate, in-depth, and with the right perspective. For over 20 years, I have been a journalist, and never has clarity mattered more than now. At Newsnight, we go beyond the surface. We dissect the details, challenge the narratives, and bring you the unparalleled clarity you deserve in a world clouded by misinformation. We are bold, we are direct. Newsnight, for the news in your interest. Only on NDTV 24/7.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India. It matters to India. And it matters to me. And it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru. Only on NDTV 24/7.
How often have you...
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Welcome back. As the country marked 50 years since the emergency, Prime Minister Modi today hit out at the Congress. He called the emergency the darkest days in India. He also announced a book that chronicles his experience during those years and how they shaped his journey as a leader. He also called upon those who remember the emergency or suffered during those days of emergency to share their experiences on social media. He says to create awareness for the youth regarding what took place during that time. Later, the Home Minister Amit Shah also slammed the Congress for the imposition of emergency in 1975 and said that the one who resisted emergency then is now the Prime Minister. He also called the emergency an attack on Ambedkar's constitution, saying dynastic politics was dethroned in 2014. Now, the Congress also hit back at this targeting by the centre and by the BJP, and Ashok Gehlot said that the government is least bothered by issues like rising levels of unemployment and inflation. Instead, they keep raising issues like emergency.
25 तारीख को आपातकाल लगाया गया। कारण तो कहा कि राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा खतरे में है, परंतु पूरी दुनिया अब जानती है राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा को कुछ नहीं हुआ था, उनकी कुर्सी खतरे में थी। बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर और संविधान निर्माता ने जो 2,67,000 शब्द बोलकर चर्चा कर संविधान का निर्माण किया था, वो सारी चर्चाओं का अंत इंदिरा जी ने, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आज आपातकाल की घोषणा की है। एक वाक्य बोलकर सारे संविधान के स्पिरिट को खत्म करने का काम किया।
आरएसएस और बीजेपी ने अपनी उंगली भी नहीं कटाई उस वक्त। इनको पूछो, इनको उस वक्त में इन्होंने क्यों नहीं आजादी जंग में भाग लिया। इनके पास कहने कुछ नहीं, इनके पास हिंदुओं को भड़काने वाला कुछ भी नहीं है। और बेरोजगारी है, उसकी चिंता इनको नहीं है। महंगाई बहुत भयंकर बढ़ रही है, उसकी चिंता इनको नहीं है। तो और क्या करेंगे? इमरजेंसी की बात करेंगे।
Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge said that it was in fact an undeclared emergency. He said the BJP was doing this entire drama over 50 years since emergency to hide their own failures. JP Nadda, meanwhile, said the Congress was living with the same mentality even after 50 years.
जो लोग अपने गवर्नेंस में नाकामयाब रहे, कुछ नहीं कर सके और उनकी विफलता इतनी है कि लोग आज इन्फ्लेशन के लिए पूछ रहे हैं कि भाई इतनी महंगाई बढ़ रही क्यों? उसका सवाल का उनके पास जवाब नहीं है। बेरोजगारी का नहीं है, भ्रष्टाचार का नहीं है, आर्थिक बदहाली जो हो गई, नोटबंदी जो हो गई, बाहर का काला धन लाने की जो बात हो गई, वो सब कहाँ है? झूठ जो बातें इन्होंने बार बार करते आए हैं, तो उस झूठ को छुपाने के लिए, अपने बातों को छुपाने के लिए वे आज ये नाटक रचे।
आज ही के दिन कांग्रेस की उस समय की प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा 50 साल पहले की थी, जो केवल एक राजनीतिक घटना नहीं थी बल्कि लोकतंत्र पर सीधा हमला था, एक कुठाराघात था। 25 जून 1975 की आधी रात को तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी ने आंतरिक अशांति का बहाना बनाकर भारत पर आपातकाल थोप दिया था और देश के संविधान की हत्या कर दी थी। 50 वर्ष बाद भी कांग्रेस उसी मानसिकता के साथ जी रही है। उसकी नीयत आज भी वैसी ही तानाशाही वाली है।
Now, the Prime Minister has spoken on his years during the emergency. He's talked about how he was a young RSS pracharak and how the movement was a learning experience for him, resisting emergency. And he said it reaffirmed the vitality of preserving our democratic framework. Here's an AI-generated video imagining Prime Minister Modi during the emergency period.
June 25th, 1975. The darkest days of Indian democracy shaped a future leader. Narendra Modi, a young RSS pracharak in Gujarat, became a leader of resistance. When hordes of opposition leaders were thrown into jails by the Indira Gandhi regime, Modi imaginatively escaped prison and fought the tyranny. The reason was his inventive ways to hide himself or move around freely in disguise. Narendra Modi operated underground, helping coordinate resistance and escape routes. He used disguises, fake IDs, and couriered banned literature across state lines. Modi disguised himself as a Sikh to avoid arrest. One report said he carried banned literature to Delhi and met Jan Sangh leaders in jail. A 25-year-old Modi also posed as a sannyasi and took leaders such as George Fernandes to safe houses. A small leader at that time, Modi's job was to serve as a connector between top leaders and circulate banned literature. Modi's underground activities during the emergency helped him grow his stature as a leader. By the time the emergency was lifted, Modi's political stock rose thanks to his success in building a network of supporters that provided safe havens and financial support, ferried proscribed literature, and networked with diverse anti-emergency groups.
Now more news of the Congress party and another episode of Congress versus Shashi Tarur. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge snubbed party leader Shashi Tarur over his praise for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying Tarur was in the Congress working committee because of his language and that for some Modi comes first, but for the Congress, India comes first. Now, hours after the snub, the Thiruvananthapuram MP put up a post on social media that was widely seen as a reply to his party colleague's barbs in which he'd written there. You can see that post of a bird saying, "Don't ask permission to fly. The wings are yours and the sky belongs to no one," is the message on that post.
मैं तो अंग्रेजी मेरे को पढ़ने नहीं आता, उनकी लैंग्वेज बहुत अच्छी है, उसीलिए तो हम पार्टी में उनको वर्किंग कमेटी मेंबर बनाया है। तो लेकिन मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि पूरे लोग, अपोजिशन के पूरे लोग मिलके हमने कहा कि देश की आर्मी के साथ हैं, जो हमारा आर्मी लड़ रहा है उसके साथ हैं। तो इसीलिए पहला आवाज मैंने उठाया गुलबर्गे के पत्रकार परिषद में। हम बोले कि देश बड़ा है सबसे, देश के लिए हम सभी लोग मिलके काम करेंगे, पार्टी बात, देश फर्स्ट हमने कहा। वो आप चंद लोग ऐसा कहते हैं मोदी फर्स्ट देश बाद, तो अब हम क्या करें उसको?
With that, time for us to slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side, Subhanshu Shukla made history today. He is the second Indian in outer space en route to the International Space Station. We'll get you all the details after this very short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools and lead with impact. Starts July 13th. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
There have been 4 alerts which have been sounded off here. In fact, what we can confirm is that one missile did hit a residential building in Beersheba. As I speak, you can hear the air raid sirens going in. So I will have to make my way and see if we can find us a safe place. This is the announcement being made. Listen into it. We are coming to you live from this location which was hit in Beersheba, a residential high-rise. Ruins of this building tell you the cost that this war, the 12-day war so far, has taken.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I'm bringing that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti, also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
India's IT capital is always bustling, a city full of startups, stories and surprises. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me.
Stage 1, Tarur.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं, सब कुछ है।
मुझे पता रहा आइए हम सब मिलकर भारत की इस ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की जर्नी की शुरुआत करें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Well, it's been an incredible day today. Indian Air Force Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla in outer space right now. He is the second Indian to travel in space after 41 years. And remember, this was a delayed mission. There were lots of postponements, so it was a huge relief. And there was jubilation when it finally took off. He's piloting the SpaceX Dragon aircraft launched for the much anticipated Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station. Take a look at this report.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And
a historic liftoff carrying the hopes of 140 billion Indians. Dreams of a nation. Captain Shubhanshu Shukla on way to the International Space Station. Only the second Indian to go into space and the first to dock at the International Space Station. His first words from the spacecraft, what a ride.
नमस्कार मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, what a ride.
As the Falcon 9 rocket shot off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, emotions soared at the Shukla household in Lucknow. Tears rolling from the eyes, prayer on lips, and pride in heart. Parents witnessed their son's script history.
गोपाल को भी खिलाया, उसको भी फेसबुक पे खिलाया, बेटे को भी खिलाया।
यार नहीं तो ऐसे खिलाया, व्हाट्सएप पर खिलाया। व्हाट्सएप पे दही चीनी। बिल्कुल, और क्या, बच्चे को जो है
दूर से तो उसने वहाँ बोल नहीं दिया, सामने खिलाया उसको, उसने वहाँ अपने आप खा लिया उठा के। हमने कहा बेटा जाओ अच्छे से मिशन कंप्लीट करके वापस आओ, फिर मिलते हैं अच्छे से गले।
14 दिन कैसे बीतेगा?
अच्छे से बीतेंगे।
डर से बीतेगा?
नहीं, डर नहीं,
कोई डर नहीं।
A nation in celebration and in awe of its new heartthrob. This moment took its time with multiple delays, but the wait was worth every moment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the moment historic and posted that Shubhanshu carries with him the wishes, hopes and aspirations of 1.4 billion Indians. President Draupadi Murmu termed the multinational crew a symbol of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. Group Captain Shukla is the second Indian astronaut travelling to space 4 decades after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma made the cosmic journey as part of a Soviet mission in 1984. Besides Group Captain Shukla, who is the pilot for the mission, specialists Sławosz Uznański-Wisniewski of Poland and Tibor Kapu of Hungary and Commander Peggy Whitson of the United States are aboard the spacecraft. So what will the 28-hour flight to the ISS look like?
The 4-member crew, which flew to the International Space Station on the Axiom 4 mission, which are sometimes called the mission Akash Ganga, will spend 28 hours in orbit, and then at about 4:30 p.m. on Thursday evening, the Crew Dragon will dock with the International Space Station. It is a complex process. It will take more than 2 hours. And once Group Captain Shukla and the 4 crew members who have flown on the Axiom 4 station, which includes an American, a Polish, and a Hungarian astronaut, will conduct about 60 scientific experiments at the International Space Station. Of these, 7 experiments are which have been flown for Indian scientists. In addition, Group Captain Shukla will also do 5 human biology experiments for NASA and ISRO. So one small step for Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, one giant leap for Bharat. The first steps for India's Gaganyaan mission have been laid. With Vishnu Som in New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
And Pallav Bagla joins me in studio here to talk more about the mission. We're also joined by Sanjay Lakshmi Narayana, Research and Development Engineer for Reusable Rocket, and Dr. Srimati Kesan, Founder and CEO, Space Kids India. Pallav, first I just want to ask you, and for our viewers, if you can explain what happens in these next 28 hours since the takeoff and when it finally docks at the International Space Station.
Well, right now, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla is having his first nap or the first sleep in microgravity. He's floating and sleeping. They have 8 hours of rest. He had his first meal in the microgravity environment, which would be a lunch in my opinion. After the sleep, they would have time to connect on 3 occasions with Earth. We do not know when that would happen, but they would try and attempt that, and then 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, the docking will begin. It's a complex process. It's a highly automated process. And Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla is the mission pilot. If things go wrong or are off nominal, then he has been trained to handle that particular situation.
Right.
But he has a very experienced commander in Astronaut Peggy Whitson, and it should go off very well, and they will dock with the Harmony module.
Absolutely, that's what we're all hoping for. And it was, such an exciting moment to watch the takeoff. Dr. Srimati Kesan, if you can share that, with us. I know Pallav was in tears here. It was, a lot of relief. There was anxiety. There's jubilation after it finally took off. And what this means now for industry, for aerospace startups like yours.
I mean, you just said it right. I mean, Baglaji had tears, and we also shared the same thing, because 6 times, when a person had to wait and, finally the D moment had come. Oh my God, what a joyous moment, I should say. Absolutely happy, because I always felt that, whenever you traveled internationally, people still have that feeling towards India, that probably we are a snake charmer's land, and still we are a third world country. And do you seriously have internet? There were so many questions when we travel to different countries. I think this is one particular act, I think, will just negate the entire thing when the whole world is watching how technologically we are strong, and how we want our Indian, to be in space and in the International Space Station, wherein we are already planning to build our own international space stations. I think, when I started, in this industry about 14 years ago, OG in this industry, I should say, then, the kids who are now startup founders have come into this industry with so many aspirations and a lot of innovative ideas. Right. I think this will pave way for all the innovations. And, I'm very sure when we get first-hand information from Subhanshu Shukla, there will be a lot of other thought processes going into the younger generation.
Let me jump in and let me tell our viewers the speciality why you are so special for India. If Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian to see microgravity, most people would believe that Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla is the second person to experience microgravity. We have on our show Dr. Srimati Kesan. You have experienced microgravity in the parabolic flight. Tell us a little bit about your experience. You're the only woman to have seen that microgravity environment for India.
Thank you so much for that, Pallavaji. Truly humbled, I should say. Yes, it was a great experience, and from the same tarmac of Kennedy Space Center, you flew high and experienced zero gravity. It was a parabolic flight wherein 15 times you experienced that, and it was close to 1.5 to 2G. The exposure to 2G. And after COVID, I think 2G itself felt a lot, because I was in the ICCU, and I did not want to give up when I got this opportunity, especially to fly with Apollo astronaut, the moonwalker, Charlie Duke. I mean, that was amazing experience.
How amazing that you managed to experience that, something that, very few people ever will. Sanjay Lakshminarayan, I'd like to get you also here, your thoughts on a day like this when finally Shubhanshu Shukla has taken off. He's going to be docking soon. This is a big step also for our own, manned space mission, which will which Shubhanshu Shukla will also be a part of.
Exactly, like Bagla sir said, I think it's a first step among many to come. And it's one of the most memorable for us because I grew up when my mom used to tell me, Rakesh Sharma, who lives here in the south, he went to space once with the Soviet Union and he said, Sare jahan se acha, when he saw the India from the space. And today the kids will have far better experience today with the technology and the connectivity that we have today, and they'll be more inspired and motivated, I think, for years to come because of this. And it's a first step. He will learn a lot of things during his mission in the ISS, and then the knowledge that he will gain will be very useful for us when we build our own Bharatiya Antariksh station and for us to conduct experiments. And also, it's a fantastic opportunity for him because he's conducting an experiment regarding diabetes and how things work differently in space. It will be very, very helpful for people on the planet. Again, it's not just a fancy space mission where we are flaunting our money or technology. We are also bringing back very, very useful data for a better life on the planet.
That's right. There are going to be several experiments, from biomedical research to agriculture as well that will be taking place there. Dr. Kesan, if you can add to that.
Of course, because this is going to be like a prelude for our Gaganyaan mission. Whatever said and done, we were, having second-hand information, I should say, from the previous astronauts. Now, this is going to be first-hand information, and, that will really help us while building not only the Bharatiya Antariksh station, but also for the Gaganyaan mission, because every little bit from the mission planning to the launch to bringing back the astronauts safe, I think everything is like a choreographed act. So if this can be, I think our chairman and a team of ISRO scientists are sitting there in the US and, interacting with Axiom, SpaceX and NASA and getting all these details so that this is going to be absolutely helpful for us in our mission.
All right, well, I'm completely out of time. Thank you so much, Sanjay Lakshminarayan and Dr. Srimati Kesan for joining us. And Pallav, as always, in studio. And I think we'll be having you a lot more in studio in coming days. Thank you all for watching at home. An exciting day it's been today. Time for us to slip into a break. Coming up on the other side, the Southern View with Veera.
Well, Gargi, we'll have moong dal ka halwa and amras. That's what we found out that Group Captain Shukla will be having in space. That and much, much more up ahead on the Southern View, including a special debate on the emergency face-off in the national capital.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide, and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit. सज गया है मंच। शिरकत करेंगे जाने माने कलाकार। एनडीटीवी का क्रिएटर्स मंच है आपके लिए तैयार। शामिल होंगे लेजेंडरी राइटर जावेद अख्तर, अपनी कविताओं से युवाओं के दिलों पर राज करने वाले कवि कुमार विश्वास, समय से परे की फिल्म बनाने वाले डायरेक्टर इम्तियाज अली और बेस्ट सेलिंग राइटर चेतन भगत। यहाँ फन और एंटरटेनमेंट मिलेगा साहित्य से, नई रचनाएं, नई सोच, नया मंच। एनडीटीवी लाया है आपके लिए क्रिएटर्स मंच। आप भी जुड़ें एनडीटीवी नेटवर्क पर।
50 years of the emergency.
भाइयों और बहनों, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है।
India's darkest hour, June 25th, 1975. Lest we forget. The emergency. NDTV rewinds when democracy was suspended.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. Lots lined up over the next hour, from a special focus on the second Indian in space after 41 years and the big emergency political face-off. Vasudha Venugopal will be joining me at 7:30 from Central Delhi. But first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking this hour. The second Indian in space will have moong dal halwa and amras for his next meal. NDTV finds out from the DRDO wing that prepares the food as India boys in pride with Group Captain Shukla. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge hit out at party MP Shashi Tarur for his recent remarks praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that, quote unquote, for some people Modi comes first. Tarur says he doesn't need permission to fly. More developments in the Chennai cocaine case in which actor Srikanth was arrested. Sources say name of 2 other actors have come up as well. Will this case get bigger? Well, the breaking news on that last headline that we just took, news just coming in on the investigations into that narcotics case, links to Tamil and Telugu actor Srikanth. Another actor whose name allegedly came out in that case, Krishna, has been arrested by the Chennai police. Some reports suggest that the names of 2 other actresses has also come up in the investigations, suggesting that this case could get bigger. Remember, an AIDMK functionary, Prasad, was arrested in this case, which started with the arrest of an African drug peddler with cocaine. The police are probing financial transactions of those arrested to find links to others whom they may have supplied narcotics to. NDTV's Sam Daniel joins me live on these investigations. Sam, what can you tell us? What are you hearing from the police at this stage?
Too early to get some confirmed information, even as the interrogation is going on, Veera Raghav. The background is the police have confirmed that Prasad, the producer, had supplied cocaine to actor Srikanth, who has been arrested, and to a set of his friends, besides organizing cocaine-fueled parties. And what exactly is the role of Krishna? Was he somebody who received or bought cocaine from actor Srikanth, or did he receive from Prasad? That's the big question. And based on the interrogation which is underway right now, police may be able to confirm the exact role of Krishna. Krishna comes from a family of film personalities. His father is a producer, his brother, well-known director Vishnuvardhan, and he himself has acted in several films like Anjali, Iruvar Thalapathy, and the film Kallagu turned into a breakthrough for him, and he is popularly known as Kallagu Krishna. So I think in a few hours from now, we would know whether he would be let off or would he be put behind bars and what exactly his role is. But in the case of Srikanth, police have confirmed that they have strong evidence to prove that Srikanth purchased cocaine, used it. He also had links with the drug cartel, something that has shaken up the Tamil film industry.
So at the moment he's been detained. That's what you're saying, Sam Daniel. Given the involvement of these big stars, I mean, not really top stars, but reasonably well-known stars, this must be really something that worries everyone in the film industry. We believe, according to at least unconfirmed reports, that there are other names that are under the scanner as well.
That's what the police say. They themselves are not revealing names, saying that only on the basis of strong evidence they'll be sharing names, summoning them for interrogation. But certainly they say it's an ongoing investigation. More information, stories come as they interrogate more and more people. But the film industry is certainly worried, and it's a South India phenomenon in that sense. Many stars, many popular actors, be it in the Kannada film industry, the Telugu film industry or the Malayalam film industry, have been accused and arrested in several of these cases. And recently, the Malayalam film industry also made it a point to get an affidavit from everybody on the film sets that they would not be involved in any of the drug or any such issues. Only then they allow them to work on the sets, and this will come into force from tomorrow.
Right, Sam. Important that you're mentioning about the Malayalam film industry, where this entire issue had snowballed into great proportions. We'll keep a close watch of that case in Chennai, which is threatening to get big. But now to another murder that sounds scarily similar to the Sonam Raja Raghuvanshi honeymoon murder case. That's in the headlines at the moment. 28-year-old Tejeshwar from Gadwal in Telangana was allegedly murdered in Andhra Pradesh's Kurnool district. His family has alleged that the police are probing if it was his wife, who he married just a month ago, who plotted the murder. The police suspect that the wife could have plotted the murder with another man, one she was allegedly in a relationship with. They suspect that the two of them hired killers to murder Tejeshwar and dump his body in a canal. Crimes of passion, remember, not new, but investigations are still going on in this case. Joining me now, NDTV's Uma Sudhir and noted psychiatrist Dr. Neha Agarwal. Uma, it's disturbing to say the least, as perhaps is any murder case, but the investigation's still on. What details are you picking up from the investigators?
So I've spoken to the district police chief there, T. Srinivas Rao, and he has said that this girl was supposed to have been married to Tejeshwar in the month of February. She in fact went absconding at that time, and subsequently she came back and she said that she had been worried about dowry being given by her mother for the marriage, and therefore she had gone away because the mother was unable to pay. And she in fact told him that she is very interested in him romantically and interested in getting married to him, and therefore their marriage happened on the 18th of May. The brother of Tejeshwar, who is Tej Vardhan, has in fact, he first lodged the complaint to the police saying that Tejeshwar had gone missing from the 17th of June onwards, and that they suspected the hand of the wife because they knew earlier, or they had suspicion, or there were rumors that she was in an affair with a bank manager in Kurnool district, and she had had about 2,000 phone calls just in the last 4 months. She had continued to be talking to him even after she got married to Tejeshwar, who himself is a dancer himself and also a land surveyor. And what they have done is this bank manager, actually 3 people come to him for a loan application, and he gives them an offer of becoming hired assassins and sends them on this mission, paying them 2 lakh rupees. And Tejeshwar is taken from his home on the pretext of surveying a particular land deal. And when they are going in the car, that's when they slit his throat open and then stab him as well. And then they're supposed to dispose of the body in a particular layout that the bank manager had told them about. But because there is movement there, they throw it in a canal, and subsequently the police found it because they followed both the CCTV footage of the car as well as the cell phone signals of Tejeshwar. And by the time the body was found 4 days later, it was putrefied. It was the tattoo on the hand of Tejeshwar that said Amma in Telugu that was used to identify that it was indeed him. Subsequently, they have the police investigation has shown that the bank manager, Tirmal Rao, already married for 8 years, and he had had an affair with the mother of Aishwarya as well. And Aishwarya and Tirmal Rao had in fact planned and executed this entire murder by hiring the assassins, and they had even got themselves tickets to run away to Ladakh afterwards. He had borrowed 20 lakh rupees, of which 2 lakh rupees he paid to the assassins, and 18 lakh rupees they were going to take away with them and escape to Ladakh. But yes, the police caught up with them in good time. And the shocking aspect is how these people imagined that they would get away literally with murder. That's what the SP told me.
Right. Right, the impunity with which it's planned. Dr. Neha, crimes of passion, not really new. One has seen this before. But what's really the impact? Because it is disturbing, to say the least, cases of this nature coming out in full public glare. What's really the psychological impact one needs to be careful about? Perhaps these are cases which needs to be dealt with at a mass level. They're coming out in the fore and getting sensationalized. What's the impact of that?
I would say this is less of crime of passion, but a premeditated murder. Crime of passion mostly comes out suddenly after a rageful incident. These seem to be more of malicious intent, and I don't know how these people think that they can get away with this. Maybe they have some personality traits which make them feel entitled. They have some borderline personalities. They have lack of remorse. So the impact, I would say, before the impact, we should see the story behind every such criminal incident. Every criminal in this incident has a story behind, the psychological story. So various theories we have about this. There could be antisocial borderline traits in these perpetrators, and we need to look more into it as a society. We should try to understand their psychological viewpoint, their mindset, and then only we can prevent such happenings.
Right, that's perhaps prevention that you're pointing out from a psychological point of view. And as you rightly pointed out, these are premeditated cases. What I meant by crime of passion is a different sense in terms of being spurned by or having another marital discord resulting in murder. But thanks very much for joining us here. Thanks to Uma as well. We'll keep a close track of that case, which comes close on the heels of that other horrific case, and look at the repercussions of all this. Now to our special focus this evening. A day of national pride for India as billions watch the second Indian to enter space. 41 years ago, it was Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. Today, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla made history as the pilot of the 4-member crew in the Axiom 4 mission, with millions of Indians joining his parents in emotional prayers as the SpaceX Falcon 6 rocket lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center. It was a sight to watch as it cut through the dark skies into the space towards the SpaceX-managed International Space Station in a low Earth orbit. Lots of exclusive details up ahead, including what's Subhanshu Shukla getting to eat in space. But first, those stunning images, and then my colleague Pallav Bagla lays out for us the next few hours of the journey.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff.
Takes flight. Godspeed AX4.
What a ride. 40 साल बाद हम वापस अंतरिक्ष में पहुंच गए हैं और कमाल की राइड थी। ये मेरी इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक की जर्नी की शुरुआत नहीं है, ये भारत की ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत है। आइए हम सब मिलकर भारत की ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की जर्नी की शुरुआत करें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
After a very successful liftoff from the Kennedy Space Center from Pad 39A, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla was in space within 8 minutes. Currently, He and 3 other crew members are orbiting the Earth at about 400 kilometers above the Earth, going around at a velocity of about 28,000 kilometers per hour. First things they did was that they took off their space suits, the ones which we saw, the white suits and the helmet, and they went into using comfortable clothes, and then they had their first meal in space. The space station and his biorhythm has been made attuned with London time. So I presume Group Captain Shukla had his first lunch in space. Eating food in space is not easy. It is an experience, and he is a first-time flyer in space. He must have experienced some difficulty. Now, after having had lunch, he would have his first sleep in space. So 8 hours of rest for Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla, his first nap or sleep in space. When he gets up, the first morning in space, so to say, would begin, and then would begin that process of docking with the International Space Station. It's a complicated process, and many people ask, the space station is only 400 kilometers above Earth, why does it take 28 hours? It's complicated orbital dynamics. The space station was flying overhead over Cape Canaveral, Florida, Kennedy Space Center when the liftoff happened, and finally they have to go and dock with the same space station in a phased manner. This is called phasing. They will have gone around the Earth many times, and finally they will rendezvous with the International Space Station, and the docking will happen with the Harmony module of the space station. Docking will take over 2 hours, and the pressure has to be equalized between the space station and the crew module. Not an easy job, and only once all the green signal and the clear is given that everything is safe, will the 4 crew from the Crew Dragon go in floating into the International Space Station. Currently, the commander of the space station is a Japanese astronaut. He will greet them, and there would be a small ceremony welcoming the Axiom 4 crew. Sometimes the Axiom mission I called Mission Akash Ganga. They would be welcomed to the International Space Station, and then Group Captain Shukla will get on to his 14-day mission at the International Space Station. So the first meal in space, the first sleep in space, and the first docking in space for Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla. Important milestones in his big jump or leap in space. India's cosmic leap taking shape. In New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
Well, but what's Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla going to eat in space? My colleague Deepak Bhupanna finds out that it could be amras and moong dal ka halwa that's in store for the Group Captain for his meal in space. Listen in to Dr. R. Kumar, who's the center head for DRDO's DIBT wing, which has curated and prepared the space meal.
We have Mr. Dr. R. Kumar. He's from the DIBT. He's the center head from Mysuru joining us. Sir, thank you for speaking to NDTV. I would want to start off by asking, what's the special dishes that you've prepared really for, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla? Because he's also going to be sharing this with his other astronauts, is what I'm told.
Yeah. Axiom mission is a landmark spaceflight mission organized by NASA in association with ISRO in collaboration with NASA for the 14 days mission. In this regard, DRDO, we have provided 3 desi foods, namely ready to drink mango nectar, ready to eat moong dal halwa and carrot halwa, which are specially designed to meet the space food challenges. Critically, these foods without any preservatives, commercially sterile, and can be stored for more than 12 months under the room temperature conditions. So these 3 products Subhanshu Shukla is carrying to exchange between the fellow astronauts.
Very interesting that you say, halwa, amras. Now, all of this, was this something that was chosen by ISRO, or was it chosen by the other astronauts or by Mr. Shukla himself? Tell us about how the selection process happened for these 3, savories to be a part of his travel.
See, these products are part of our proposed Gaganyaan missions. So based on the list of products we provided to ISRO, they have selected these 3 products, and then we worked on making all